Have you ever wondered why some people, even after eating so-called healthy foods, still struggle with fatigue, joint pain, or accelerated aging? We're often told to eat more vegetables, but the truth is, not all vegetables are safe once you reach 60, 70, or 80. In fact, some of them can quietly shorten your life. Here's the problem. As you age, your digestion weakens, stomach acid lowers, and your ability to extract nutrients from food declines. Certain vegetables that are rich in oxalates, phytates, or lectins may actually block mineral absorption. That means instead of fueling your body, they rob you of calcium, magnesium, and iron. This is why so many older adults suffer from brittle bones, muscle weakness, and anemia, even though they believe they're eating healthy. Take spinach, for example. People label it a superfood, but it's loaded with oxalates. Over time, those oxalates can accumulate, forming kidney stones and weakening your bones. Another example is beans and lentils. Yes, they're plant-based and praised by many diets, but they contain lectins and phytates that can irritate your gut and block nutrients your body desperately needs in later years. The older you get, the less margin for error you have. If a 25-year-old eats a plate of spinach every day, they might handle it. But if you're 70, your body simply can't process it the same way. This mismatch between what's considered healthy and what's actually beneficial in your stage of life is the silent trap most people fall into. Now, I'm not saying vegetables are bad. I'm saying choose wisely. Focus on low oxalate, nutrient-rich vegetables like cauliflower, zucchini, and cruciferous greens such as kale that are cooked, not raw. Cooking lowers anti-nutrients and makes them easier to digest. Avoid the raw salads every day. Your gut may thank you. In his book, Deep Nutrition, Dr. Catherine Shanahan explains how traditional diets focused on nutrient-dense, easily digestible foods, especially for elders. They understood that food isn't just about filling your stomach, it's about preserving your life force. So the real question is, do you want to eat what everyone says is healthy, or do you want to eat what actually helps you live longer with more strength and clarity? When you pass 60, every choice counts. Food can either be your medicine or it can quietly be your poison. The power is in your hands. Why certain vegetables can actually harm your health after age 60, 70, and 80 is something most people never stop to question. Because we grow up hearing the phrase, eat your vegetables, as if it applies equally to everyone at every age. But your body at 60 or 70 is not the same body you had at 25 or 30. The rules change, even if no one tells you. A food that once gave you energy, vitamins, and strength can, over time, begin working against you as your digestive system slows down, your stomach acid decreases, and your gut lining becomes more sensitive. Vegetables that are considered healthy can, for older adults, create silent problems. Some contain natural plant chemicals like oxalates, lectins, or phytates, defense compounds plants use to protect themselves. While a younger body can often tolerate them, in an older body, these same compounds can lead to nutrient deficiencies, kidney stones, joint pain, and even inflammation in the gut. That means you could be eating the very foods you believe are keeping you healthy, while they are slowly draining your vitality. This is why the idea of one-size-fits-all nutrition is so dangerous. At 60, 70, or 80, your nutritional needs are different, and what you remove from your diet can be just as important as what you add. A common mistake people make is assuming that if a vegetable is labeled a superfood, it's universally good. But superfood for whom? For a young athlete? For a middle-aged adult? Or for someone in their later years with slower digestion and weaker nutrient absorption? The context matters. When you're older, your margin for nutritional error is smaller. Every bite either contributes to strength, energy, and longevity, or it quietly chips away at them. That's why blindly following the idea that all vegetables are good can actually shorten your life, especially if you're eating the wrong ones for your age. It's not about eating more, it's about eating smarter. The link between anti-nutrients in some vegetables and nutrient deficiencies is one of the least discussed but most important health truths, especially as you age. Plants are designed to protect themselves from being eaten, and they do this by producing compounds like oxalates, phytates, and lectins. These compounds aren't necessarily toxic in the way chemicals are, but they interfere with your body's ability to absorb and use key nutrients. For example, phytates bind to minerals like calcium, magnesium, zinc, and iron. So even if you're eating foods rich in these minerals, your body can't properly access them. Over time, this can lead to weakened bones, muscle cramps, anemia, or even cognitive decline, all of which are common complaints in people over 60, 70, or 80. But here's the hidden truth. In many cases, it's not just aging that's causing these issues. It's the anti-nutrients in the foods you eat daily. Oxalates are another culprit. Found in foods like spinach, beet greens, and almonds, oxalates bind to calcium, forming crystals that can accumulate in the kidneys or joints. That's why kidney stones and joint stiffness are often linked to diets high in these foods. Younger people may be able to handle the occasional stress of these compounds, but as you age, the cumulative effect is much harsher. Lectins, found in beans, lentils, and some nightshade vegetables, can irritate the lining of the gut, leading to inflammation and poor absorption of nutrients. This gut irritation can also trigger autoimmune issues or worsen existing ones, something many older adults struggle with silently. The danger isn't always immediate. It builds slowly, year after year, until your body suddenly shows signs of deficiency. Brittle nails, fragile bones, weak muscles, low energy. It looks like aging, but in reality, it's malnourishment caused by anti-nutrients. This is why choosing the right vegetables, those low in anti-nutrients, and preparing them properly, often by cooking, is so crucial for longevity. It's not about avoiding vegetables altogether. It's about understanding how they interact with your body at this stage of life. When you remove or reduce the ones that rob you of nutrients, your body can finally use the vitamins and minerals it needs to keep you strong, sharp, and resilient. Why healthy foods can sometimes accelerate aging if eaten in excess is a truth that shocks people, because we've been trained to believe the more healthy food we eat, the better. But the body doesn't work that way. Even a nutrient-rich food can become harmful if it overwhelms your system or interferes with balance. Think about it. Water is essential, but too much water can dilute electrolytes and actually be dangerous. The same principle applies to food, especially as you grow older. Take raw kale or spinach, for example. In small amounts, they provide nutrients, but if you eat them daily in large quantities, the oxalates can build up and quietly damage your kidneys, joints, and bones. Or consider beans and lentils, often celebrated as health foods. When consumed excessively, the lectins and phytates they contain can damage your gut lining, making it harder for your body to absorb nutrients. What starts as a meal meant to energize you can actually leave you tired, inflamed, and malnourished over time. This is why older adults who do everything right with diet often still experience brittle bones, weakness, or fatigue. They believe that because a food is labeled healthy, eating more of it will multiply the benefits. In reality, excess creates imbalance. The body needs variety and moderation, not constant exposure to the same plant chemicals. In the book The Case Against Sugar by Gary Taubes, there's a powerful reminder that what we assume to be harmless or even healthy can, in excess, accelerate disease and aging. The same lesson applies to vegetables with anti-nutrients. They're not all bad, but too much of the wrong kind, especially after 60, can make your body age faster than it should. The key isn't more, it's smarter. Eat the foods that give you nutrients without robbing you of others. Limit the vegetables that stress your digestion and drain your minerals. And always remember that just because something is called a superfood doesn't mean it's a superfood for you at this stage of life. Simple alternatives that protect longevity and energy are often overlooked because people are so focused on what they're told to avoid. But the truth is, once you remove the vegetables that weaken your body, you need to replace them with options that nourish, strengthen, and support your digestion as you age. The good news is, these alternatives are simple, affordable, and easy to prepare. Low oxalate vegetables like cauliflower, zucchini, mushrooms, and cabbage are far gentler on your system while still delivering vitamins and minerals. When you cook them lightly, by steaming, sautéing, or roasting, you reduce anti-nutrients and make them easier for your body to absorb. For example, cooked kale is far better tolerated than raw kale because heat breaks down the compounds that block minerals. Fermented vegetables such as sauerkraut or kimchi also play a powerful role. Not only are they easier to digest, but they bring healthy bacteria into your gut, which supports nutrient absorption and strengthens immunity, a critical factor after 60. A spoonful with your meals can do more for your health than a large raw salad that strains your digestion. Herbs like parsley, cilantro, and basil, though often seen as just garnishes, can be used daily to add antioxidants without burdening your system. These small additions keep meals vibrant without introducing the heavy load of anti-nutrients. Another overlooked alternative is simply choosing quality animal-based foods alongside low-risk vegetables. Eggs, fish, and bone broth supply the protein, minerals, and collagen your body desperately needs for muscle, bone, and joint strength. Pairing them with gentle vegetables creates meals that fuel longevity rather than drain it. Longevity isn't about piling your plate with every vegetable you can find. It's about making wise, age-appropriate choices. By shifting to vegetables that give instead of take away, you protect your energy, support your bones and muscles, and keep your digestion calm. This simple change can mean the difference between merely surviving in your 70s or thriving with vitality and clarity. A mindset shift about eating for quality of life, not just tradition or habit, is perhaps the most important lesson of all. So many people eat the way they do simply because it's what they've always done, or because culture and tradition told them, this is healthy. But the truth is, your body doesn't care about tradition, labels, or trends. It only cares about what nourishes it and what harms it. When you reach 60, 70, or 80, the question isn't, what did I grow up eating, or what do others say is good for me? The real question is, does this food help me live with strength, clarity, and energy, or does it drain me? Every meal becomes a choice between quality and decline. Food at this stage of life is no longer just fuel. It is medicine, or it is poison. In Food Rules by Michael Pollan, there's a line that says, "Don't eat anything your great-grandmother wouldn't recognize as food." That wisdom rings true, but I'd add something more. Eat the foods that allow you to move freely, think clearly, and live joyfully in your later years. Because longevity without quality is not really living. So when you look at your plate, don't ask, is this considered healthy? Ask instead, will this help me walk with strength, sleep with peace, and wake up with energy tomorrow? That simple shift in thinking can transform your final decades into some of the most vibrant years of your life.